Hey friends, Kevin Goehring here, your Sacramento, Stockton area realtor and lender, here with this week's weekly real estate report. You know, there's a lot of talk about so much negativity about the market, the economy, and everything that's happening. But let's take a look at the chart and see if we can find some good news this week. Well, here we go. Good news. It depends on which side of the fence you're on, but take a look at this green line that we've been watching. We have finally, like I said last week, finally, after 2 years of waiting, we now have more inventory than the number of pending sales. Now, is that good news or bad news? Well, like I said, depends on which side of the fence you're on. But before we say good or bad, let me just say it's normal. We're returning to normal. There's nothing wrong with that. So let's take the positive there and say, okay, we're turning to a normal market where there's more supply than there is demand. All right, so if you're a home buyer, this is fantastic news. Things are going to get better for you. Can't speak to rates, well, a little bit, but as far as the availability of homes, the outlook of home prices starting to come down, I think we're going to see more of a normal market. Now, it's going to take a while because we still have a lot of supply demand issues. I think that unfortunately, you know, statistics don't always paint the absolute picture that you need to see. If you're a first-time home buyer, I still believe there's tremendous competition for the homes that you can afford. So you're going to see that for a while, but there's going to be more inventory. I think it's going to be a little bit easier. I think it's good news all the way around. If you're a home seller, let's talk about selling your home. Prices are coming down. Let's take a look at up here at the gold line median sales price. That has really leveled off. The median list price has also leveled off. It is starting to come down a little bit. We can see the red line. Sales are coming down. Pending sales are coming down, which means that as a seller, you need to be a little more realistic about what you're going to ask for your home. So, proof to that, let me take a look at, pull up my other chart here, chart number 2, and let's take a look what's going on with our price reductions. I mean, look at that. Price reductions just continue to go up, up, up. We're at 1,285 price reductions this week. That's 1,285 price reductions out of less than 4,000 homes on the market in our area. So we can look at that and say price reductions. A lot of sellers are having to reduce their price to get the attention they need, meaning they've overshot the market. Hey, my neighbor sold their house for this much. I want more than that. Well, it's kind of turning around now. Look at the number of inactives. These are homes out there that have expired. They had a contract to sell, 30, 60, 90, 120 day listing agreement. Those agreements have expired. The house has come off the market. No buyers for that home. What are we looking at? 770 this week alone. And that number keeps going up. The number of homes that are leaving the market without buyers. The number of homes that are having a price reduction because they don't have buyers. Huge indicators that the market is definitely shifting. Now, I don't mean to say that's a bad thing. It's just shifting. It's cooling off a little bit. It's returning to normal. So homes that were way overpriced, they're not selling. You got to be priced appropriately. So that's what's going on there. Let's talk about rates real quick. Hey, a little bit of good news here. You know, going back a couple weeks ago, we peaked out at about 5.3% was the average rate. And it went to 5.25, dropped to 5.1 last week. This week we are at 5.09. Not much change at all with 0.8 of a point. So that came down from 0.9 for the last few weeks. So rates have improved slightly. Now, while they're not going back down, I think the big takeaway, the great news is they're not going up either. And 5.1, 5.5 over the historical average, looking at Freddie Mac's over the last, 30, 40, 50 years, going back to 2000 and, about 1970, I think, going back. I think the average ended up being somewhere around like 8.5 or 9, if my memory is there. So really, we're still historically kind of where we're supposed to be. So, hey, things are not all bad. Just kind of depends on the lens that you're looking at it through. So that's what's going on for the real estate report this week. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you here next week. Take care. Bye.